Hey everyone, this is Jeff. I think that's my name. Yeah, I'm Jeff. I'm with Expedited Journey, and I get a lot of people asking me all the time. They'll come up to my van and they'll say, man, I really love your setup. Can you show me how you've got it set up? And so as someone who expedites freight, travels in a Sprinter van instead of bigger trucks, I drove them for a lot of years, and I just got tired of driving tractors all over the road. I wanted to downsize, do something smaller, and Sprinter vans, I don't have to abide by the hours of regulations. I can drive, do whatever I want. I can pull in places that you can't take a tractor. And so I wanted to show everyone how I live in the Sprinter van when you have to have the center of that van used up for cargo that you're going to be hauling. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's just start with the type of van that I do have. I have a Dodge Ram ProMaster. This is a 2023 model. It's the 2500, and it does pretty well for me. I happen to be parked at this truck stop. I was lucky enough to get the corner spot. I had to back in real slow because I don't like things rubbing against my van, but I couldn't pass up this spot. Look how, so I'm right here at the corner and got a nice little area to sit, pull out my chair in a little bit. So let's get into it and let me show you the way I've got my van set up. It looks like a mess, but I promise you, if you do anything in the expediting freight business, you're probably going to like this setup where others may not find it as useful, but maybe. So we'll just start with a slow pan, and I'll just kind of go over some things. We'll talk about the floor in another video about how I put it in. I put the floor down. So one of the things that I'll tell you is bungee cords and these clamps, they are your absolute best friend if you're not going to put walls up, insulate the van. Some people do, some people don't. I kind of like it this way. At least right now, I've been through some of the colder months, and you know, I survived. It wasn't easy, but the more that I'm in this and the longer I'm doing it, the more that I'm acquiring to figure out what I need and what I don't need. So let's just start right here. These are my straps. I have two types of straps. I have the E-tracking straps that go across this way. That way, when the load is loaded, I don't have to worry about it pushing forward. If I have to hit the brakes because some moron decides to cut me off and hit the brakes. So I also have the D-rings in the van. And of course, I cut the floor around it. So I could put the D-rings up. I have them on the side so I can strap the load coming across this way as well. So I just kind of put them in a bag, set them at the back of the van. It works really well for me. If I could hang them up, I would, but I've got a lot of straps in there and they're pretty heavy. On that note, let me say this. I know this is more about how to live in the van, but I also have a tow strap. Anybody who does expediting freight, it is well worth your time to go get a tow strap. And the reason why is because if you have a load and they load 2 or 3 pallets, that forklift cannot get to the front and grab the pallet. So the best way to do, wrap it around the load, the tow strap, hook the other end to the forklift, and they can pull the pallet to the back of the van and they can pull it out. So just a little tidbit there. So I have an electrical cord. That is for when I'm running my power inverter and I've got my stuff sitting over here. That's my refrigerator. In these bags, I have my coffee maker. I'm a huge coffee drinker. So if you ever talk to me and I'm talking coffee, I love my coffee. So I have a Keurig that I actually bought off of Amazon. And of course I go to the store and I'll get K-cups Folgers is my brand, so that's what I like. And I'll get up in the mornings and I'll make my coffee. The down here is my blow up bed. It's actually a twin size, and it's the one that has the motor with it. Now, none of this would be possible if I did not have the power inverter. The power inverter is what allows me to kind of run the refrigerator, blow up my mattress, run my coffee maker in the morning, and also charge my batteries for my DeWalt cordless fan. So it's nice to have that. I do a lot of bungee cords. You'll notice that I don't like, if I'm driving, the one thing that I do not like is you're driving down the road and you're turning and all you're hearing is this right here. So I'm really big on putting bungee cords across the load, so that, or whatever it is that I've got on the wall, so that it's not making that noise when I'm driving down the road. It drives me crazy. I do not want that. So up here I have my broom, and that being said, let me back up a second. In here I keep my rags, extra batteries. I've got my drill in here. I've got my tripod for when I go out and I'm playing disc golf and wanting to record some shots or just doing videos like this. So I have a lot of supplies in here. If you do expedited freight, then you're required to have what they call PPEs. It's protective gear, so if you go on a construction site. So I keep all that in there. It's up against the wall. If you do any kind of expedited freight, your wheel wells have to at least be the width of a pallet, because if it's not, you're not going to be able to get the load in here. So if you can put everything from here to the wall and it can fit, then it does not obstruct any load coming into the van. So as you can see, I got clamps. I've got my broom up here. I do like to keep a tidy house, so I do bungee cords. I showed this to one guy and he said he absolutely loved it. I put my paper towel holder up here, and I was telling him, I said, you want to run 2 bungee cords. You want to run one across to put the paper towels in, and then run another one on the back side of it, so that you've got a little tension whenever you pull, and it will not just unravel while you're driving down the road. So that's another thing that I've done. I do have up here, I have my, I used to have it when I was in trucking. It's a tire buddy. Just take it and you smack your tires. Make sure that you'll learn the sound of them when you've been doing it a while. I've got up here my scrubbing brush for when I'm cooking. We'll get to that in just a minute. And up here I've got my shrink wrap. I've got an electric stove. I've got some Gatorade, more paper towels, some other things up there. And over here, that's where I keep my luggage. So whenever I get to the truck stop, if you're in a Sprinter van, just a little tidbit, if you get at least 14 gallons at a pallet truck stop, then you get half a shower credit. So if you're going to do this, always fuel up at a pallet. At least get 2 fill ups, 14 gallons each fill up, and you'll get free shower for two fill ups of at least 14 gallons. And showers are around $17 if you're paying out of pocket, so well worth the time to do it. I am a huge disc golfer, so we can talk about that in some other videos. But this is what most people like about my setup. They like the floor, and they like this battery setup. So let's talk about this. Actually, I can't take credit for setting this up. I went on YouTube, and there was another individual, and he was showing how he set it up. So basically, it runs from the start battery, which in this van, it's right underneath the floorboard, and I fed it through the side. I'll probably do another video on it, but it runs to a toggle switch right here. And I had to write it down because I'm bad about forgetting, and I didn't want to turn it the wrong way. But if this is up in the green, then it is connected to the start battery. So start battery is what starts the vehicle up. And so of course, if it's nighttime and I'm not running the vehicle and I'm using the batteries, which is why I bought them, then I'll turn this off and it disconnects from the start battery. The reason that's important is because if you're using a lot of stuff at nighttime, this power inverter is going to, or the batteries are going to drain down if you're running an electric range, a coffee maker, a refrigerator, a fan, which I have right here that I set up. And so it'll drain these batteries. So once it starts draining the batteries, the last thing you want is for it to start draining the start battery. You're going to get up the next morning and you're not going to be able to start your vehicle and you're going to have to get somebody to jump you off. So if this is on the red, then it is disconnected from the start battery. So the only batteries that are draining would be these two right here. So in the morning I can get up. I don't care if I've drained these all the way down. I can fire this van up. I can flip this back to the start battery and the alternator will recharge these two batteries so that I can reuse them again that night. Works out really well. 2,000 watt power inverter. It does well. I did some bartering for this one, but I also did the numbers. And if you were to add everything up to get this set up right now, at least at the time of this video, it was about $560 to purchase everything. And what I did is I bought these right here and the heat shrink covers, and I've got a heat gun. And so I just hooked everything up myself. And by the time it was all said and done, it was total of about $550 to $560. This I bartered for, but I did look it up to find out how much it would cost brand new. And I added that into the total cost. So between this, I even bought the crimpers to hook these up and the cutters and all of it, about $550. And I was talking to a gentleman today actually, and I was telling him, you know, $550 to have some creature comforts whenever you're out here on the road is not bad at all, especially when you have a refrigerator. And we'll get into why this is the size of my refrigerator rather than a bigger one in just a moment. But this is where I keep my food. So I've got canned goods in there. We'll get to how I do that in a minute. But I have like a dorm fridge. It's a small mini fridge. But the reason that I've got a smaller one rather than a big one is because this van is equipped to haul 3 standard pallets of merchandise. So I have 145 inches from the rear of the vehicle to the front of the cargo area. If I have to get 3 pallets somewhere to go make money for the family, then I'm gonna have to move this, because as you can see, this is almost at the E-track, which is space that I need to bring a pallet in. So what I would do is I would pick this up and I would set it right here. Now let me get to another thing that's really nice about this van, something that I installed. By the way, this is you can pick this up at a truck stop as well. It's a seat cover, not a cover, but you slide it over the seat and you can put storage things in it. One of the things that I did that I bought for this van afterwards is I bought a swivel. Now this is very useful, and the lighting's probably not doing it justice right here, but the swivel allows for me to pick this up, set it in the seat, unplug it, swivel it back around. I can strap it down and then replug it back up, and I can use this and still bring 3 pallets in for me to take a load. So let me continue on. Have a lot of different things in here for different reasons. Let's talk about my water cooler. You and I both know that if you go to the store and you buy a bottle of water, that bottle of water is probably going to cost you $1.50, $2 as much as a drink would. There's no reason to spend that kind of money. Because I'm in a Sprinter van, it is easy for me to go by Walmart and to get gallons of water. I can get them a lot cheaper, and that will hold 2 gallons. One of the things I really like about this one is it's got these hooks. I actually found this at Walmart as well. And the reason I really like this one is because in this van, I can actually hook it just like that, and then I've got running water if I need it. The other thing I like about this one, it's got a vent right here, so I can push it down whenever I'm not using it, and when I need free flowing water, I can open that up and it'll give me flowing water. Here's my pillows, so I strap them to the side. My air mattress, of course, plugs into the power inverter. It pumps up full size, and then I'll put my sheet on it, and then in the morning I just deflate it and fold it back up and put it back. So I also have 4-wheel dolly. The 4-wheel dolly is because some expediters, they have their own authority. I am one of those that has my own authority. So I'm not leased on to a company. I have a couple dispatch companies. I'm also on multiple load boards to try to find loads. You have to be diligent if you're going to do this and you're going to have your own authority. And we can talk about that in another video as well, as far as what all you can expect if you decide you want to go get your own authority. But there is a website that I use. It's called uship.com, and you got to have your own authority to be able to access that website. But it allows you to kind of bid on loads. Let's say somebody bought something on Marketplace, and maybe it's a sofa, and they need it traveling, 400 or 500 miles to get to them, and you're close to the area where you can pick it up. You can put a bid in, you can talk to the people, and then try to negotiate a price, something that's fair for both of you. And then if you like it, then you can pick it up. So if it's furniture, I may use that to pick it up and wheel it to the van. I may use it to unload it. I always ask, do you have somebody that can help me to load and unload once I get where I'm going? So that's why I also have, I'll do it slow. That's also why I have the shrink wrap, because sometimes something may not show up that's wrapped and you want to protect it at all costs. That's the other reason for the furniture pads. So anything you can do to protect the load is just going to build your reviews, and people are going to want to use you again. So this is my portable stove, and I posted something on YouTube here recently, and I was asking, can you make cookies inside of this portable stove? And this you can get it at any truck stop. I've had this one for years and it still runs great. So they're well worth the money. But that's also the reason for the bag of canned goods that I told you earlier. It's nothing for me to take canned goods, throw them into the loaf pan, and heat it up. This heats up to 300 degrees, so it will cook something really fast, and then you can enjoy a hot meal. Down here I have camping, a dining and cooking set. So it has 4 plates, 4 cups. I'll tell you a funny little story. Let me come up here and get my cup. So this is my cup. This is the cup that came in this right here. You can see it. So when I bought this, I called my wife and I said, hey, I got this cool little camping set. I'll be able to cook in the mornings. And of course I have an electric range that I can plug into the power inverter. And I said, but it came with these little cups. I said, I think it's made for coffee, but I'm not really going to use it for coffee, because I've got my own coffee mug and I really like my coffee mug. And she said, what you going to use it for? And I said, well, I think I'm going to use it so when I get in my fridge, I can just pour juice into it. And she told me, she said, that looks like a grown man sippy cup. So ever since then, this has been known as my grown man sippy cup because it's got the lid. And so if you ever go and you see these, I think I got this at Walmart as well. Inside you'll see the grown man sippy cups with lids. So I bought this, and I have already cooked on it. Let me see. I'll get back to it. We'll come back to that. So I have the camping chair, and I've got an umbrella underneath. So if I'm doing a load and I've got to be out in the rain, I can grab the umbrella. And in the two Aldi bags, one of them actually has a rain suit, so if I need it. And I really like my camping chair. And I also have this TV tray, which I really like as well, because I use it in the mornings when I'm doing my coffee. I'll set my Keurig on it. Now, a lot of times I'll set my TV tray based on the parking lot. So if I'm sitting in a parking lot and the van is kind of leaning this way, then I'm going to turn the Keurig. I'm going to put the TV tray over here and put the Keurig on this side of it so that the lean would get all the water into the hose to make my coffee. And that's the reason for this right here. But I have this. Let me see if I can just bring it up here. You can buy this probably any Camping World, but it's an electric stove, and it just plugs in to the power inverter. And sometimes now I have to crank up the van to run the power inverter, because too much running at one time with a 2000 watt can drain it. So I try to run the van, let the alternator continually charge these batteries if I'm running a lot at one time. But I also try not to run the van, because the more I run the van, the more gas I'm spending, and I'm trying to preserve how much I'm spending. So down here, I just picked this up from a friend of mine. Actually, he just gave it to me. Looks like an old Army roll-up hygiene bag, and I use it to put my little stuff in, like extra deodorant, stuff like that. And then of course it just hangs wherever I want to hang it. It'll just hang there. This is my Under Armour bag. If I'm going to go get a shower, I'm going to collect from my luggage. I'm not carrying my luggage in. I'm going to take out of it what I need, and I'm going to put it in there, and then I'm going to go hit the shower at the truck stop, go ahead and get clean. Keep my hygiene bag as well right here strapped to the side of my luggage. And so I'll grab my hygiene bag and do that as well. So all in all, that's a summary of what I do, how I live in the van. The fans are really nice. This right here, I also have a blue light. I'll plug that in for you real fast to the power inverter. See if I can do that. And then, oh yeah, it's already flipped on. So at nighttime, I've got a little light just to put enough light in here. I've also got these visors. I would like to get the ones that are designed for these windows, but you can put the visor, you can put these in. It takes 3 for the front, and then 1 for each, or 2 for each side. And then that gives me, it darkens this van. And then of course this light gives me all the light that I need at nighttime until I'm ready to, call it a night and go to sleep. And then I'll flip the switch right there and turn it off. So if you have any questions about anything that I have explained or specifics, I do know that this really works for me. And, I love my fans. I love the breeze. So I'll probably be out here as soon as I'm done with this video. I'll pull that camping chair down. I'll grab that tray table, and I'm probably going to come right here, and I'm just going to chill for a little while at the truck stop, because it is Sunday, and tomorrow I'll probably pick up a load and go somewhere, but I want to enjoy the evening. So hopefully you guys have learned something, and if you have any questions, comments, please respond down in the bottom. I've just started this video, and I've started it so that I could try to gain followers, but at the same time, I also would like to try to help others who are considering getting in this business. and answer any questions. So feel free to comment. Would love to have them, and we'll see you in the next video.